Live from New York, you're watching News Always On. I'm Kessyl. The Labor Department says the unemployment rate for July dipped to 3.9% as the economy added 57,000 jobs in July. According to NPR, in July, manufacturing jobs grew by 37,000. Jobs in professional and business services were up 51,000, and leisure and hospitality jobs rose 40,000. Trump told a rally crowd in Pennsylvania that the media refuses to give him credit for a long list of accomplishments, including his summits with the North Korean leader and the Russian president. He called the media quote-unquote fake, disgusting news. Here's more.
I'm here to say emphatically that the Trump administration is committed to expanding our economic engagement in the Indo-Pacific region. We seek to capitalize on opportunities in accordance with the principles of freedom.
We were way up in Pennsylvania, and there was only 2% of the vote left. And we were way up. If I lost every vote, we would have won the state of Pennsylvania. And the fake news refused to call it, right? They refused to call it. So here was the story by the fake news. The president was 15 minutes late for the Queen. Wrong. And then here's the rest of the story. No, here's the rest. Here's the rest of the story. So they said I was late when I was actually early, number one. Number two, I guess the meeting was scheduled for 15 minutes, and it lasted for almost an hour. The president overstayed. So I was late and I overstayed, and honestly, folks, it was such a beautiful, beautiful visit and afternoon. But they can make anything bad because they are the fake, disgusting news. I go home, I see my wife, I said, honey, we're gonna get the greatest. I just did something so great today. You know? I just stopped missiles from being launched every 2 seconds in Korea. Baby, what I did with North Korea was great. And they're not launching missiles anymore. They haven't launched one in 9 months. I said, oh, the media is gonna treat me finally so good. So good. I mean, it's gonna be so great, baby. I'm looking so forward to getting up tomorrow and reading those dying papers. And what do I read? What do I read? So I left 3 months ago. What do I read? They've been working on this stuff for 75 years. Obama didn't do anything. In all fairness, other administrations did nothing. They've been working on it for so many decades. What do I read? I left 3 months ago. Donald Trump isn't moving fast enough. You believe it? Fast enough. You believe it? I'm not moving fast enough. But I got along great with Putin. And everybody said, wow, that was great. A couple of hours later, I started hearing these reports that, you know, they wanted me to walk up. Here's a podium here. They wanted me to walk up and go like this. They wanted me to go up and have a boxing match. I said, whatever happened to diplomacy? And by the way, whatever happened to diplomacy? You know, I used to study, not too much, diplomacy.
That the death penalty is never acceptable and that the Catholic Church will work towards its abolition around the world. The Vatican said the Church now teaches that the death penalty is inadmissible because it is an attack on the inviolability and dignity of the person. A Vatican spokesman said the key point here is really human dignity. He said, quote, "The Pope is saying that no matter how grievous the crime, someone never loses his or her human dignity." Here is more.
This conviction has led me from the beginning of my ministry to advocate at different levels the global abolition of the death penalty.
Francis has really brought this to a conclusion and stated what is the Church's teaching, that all life is sacred, even those who threaten life, their lives are sacred. This takes away the loophole or the escape clause. There's no confusion now on what the Church teaches.
We'll talk to everybody we know about this amazing development, but it's also just an affirmation and emboldening of the work that we've been doing all along.
Pope Francis is a spiritual leader to the world's 1.2 billion Catholics. The U.S. State Department announced $130 million in investment initiatives in Asia that will focus on digital economy, energy, and infrastructure. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says the investments represent America's engagement in the region and dedication to promoting independence there. Let's listen in.
I'm here to say emphatically that the Trump administration is committed to expanding our economic engagement in the Indo-Pacific region. We seek to capitalize on opportunities in accordance with the principles of freedom and openness. Indo-Pacific Business Forum as well. I speak for President Trump when I say every nation and business can have confidence that the United States will continue to create the conditions for mutual prosperity in a free and open Indo-Pacific. It is clearly in America's strategic interest to deepen engagement in the region. More than 1/3 of the global population is there. 4 of the world's 6 largest economies are there as well, in China, Japan, and India, and of course, the United States. I'm glad to see, too, President Trump will strike while the iron is hot because there are clear economic benefits at hand for the American people. Our Indo-Pacific vision excludes no nation. We seek to work with anyone to promote a free and open Indo-Pacific, so long as that cooperation adheres to the highest standards that our citizens demand. The United States is committed to growing our presence in the region because we want Americans and all people of the Indo-Pacific to share in the economic growth of 2020, 2030, 2040, and beyond. Many American business leaders with us here today. I know some are wondering about America's role in the region in light of President Trump's decision to pull out of the TPP. While we work with our partners to craft better and higher standard bilateral trade agreements, our companies are continuing to advance U.S. economic interest by growing their presence in the region. I did this for a long time. People forget. That's what I did. It's clear a big part of America's international economic future is in this region. So just as the United States made foundational contributions in the past, today I'm announcing $113 million in new U.S. initiatives to support foundational areas of the future: digital economy, energy, and infrastructure. These funds represent just a down payment on a new era in U.S. economic commitment to peace and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific region. I know this is a commitment. I personally pledge as a Secretary of State that I will engage with you. I will engage with Congress and our foreign counterparts. So will our ambassadors and other U.S. officials. I was delighted to make my first trip to Vietnam a few weeks ago, and there will be many more trips to the region even yet this year. There's also folks from State Department. The Trump administration has a clear vision for the Indo-Pacific in the 21st century. It is an American vision that is deeply engaged in the region's economic, political, cultural, and security affairs.
According to federal records by non-profit news site ProPublica, a former worker at a shelter for immigrant youths in Arizona has been accused of molesting 8 teenage boys over a nearly year-long period at the facility. The Washington Post reports another case where a federal contractor has also been arrested on suspicion of sexually abusing a 14-year-old girl at a facility in Phoenix operated by Southwest Key Programs. These two cases highlight allegations of abuse and poor conditions at shelters housing migrant children. That's all the time we have for now. For News Always On, I'm Kessyl, and I'll see you later at 4 with my co-host Carol.